Okay, so we're going to investigate R47, which is a wire wound double tap resistor. The schematic shows one of the taps at 32 ohms and the other tap at 235 ohms. So I've got my meter connected to the one that should be 235 ohms, and I'm getting 0.3 ohms. And as suspected, this green wire that got added later over to the filter cap has a dead short to the chassis because the wire was connected to the outer case of that capacitor. So when I take that capacitor and I remove it from the chassis, we get 272.5 ohms, and that's within the 20% tolerance of the 235. So clearly this circuit is just totally not working, and that will be remedied and replaced when the new capacitors arrive. I also see these two capacitors in here that don't belong in the original. There was a Bakelite capacitor here that was chopped out, and 2.02 resistors were added. Pretty sure that was the filter number 49, 0.015 microfarad. There should only be a single one. For whatever reason, two were added, one on each of the two AC lines coming in. I think one thing to note on these Bakelite capacitors is they don't always have two capacitors inside. They can have a single capacitor inside. So if you don't see a wire coming out of the hole and tying to the pin, they may be just using this as a terminal. This pin may be grounded to the chassis like this one, or it may be floating. So you've really got to look at the charts and investigate these capacitors to make sure you know exactly how they're to be wired up. That may be why someone assumed that there were two capacitors in that Bakelite and just hooked up two instead. Again, when the new parts come in, I'm just going to wire these up exactly as they are on the schematic.